Good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. And a special welcome this morning to our Encounter King members that are also online with me today. It's an absolute pleasure to welcome you to part 3 of the IMPART program. Another 30 minutes business coaching session. But before we dive into the content, I would love to see who we've got online, who made the time to be with us today, and just greet them. Good morning, Amanda. So glad to have you with us. Carla, all the way from Cape Town. Got a message from you early this morning. Thank you, Carla. Lisa Gerber is watching. Welcome, Lisa. It's so good to just see everybody supporting me, and that there are people out there that really want to learn about the basics of business. We've got Kevin online this morning. Morning, Kevin. And as I said last week, it is so wonderful that we've got men and women that are hungry to learn about business. Just a quick recap before we dive into the content of this week. In week 1, my topic was impact. What impact do you make? Do you make an impact? You make an impact wherever you like it or not. My friends, week 2 was 10 business lessons that I shared with you and my business journey. And you are welcome to go back on last week's Facebook Live to watch the video and grab those 10 lessons that I have shared with you. This week's topic, I'm so excited about this week's topic. It is how to fail-proof your business. And by the way of introduction to this topic, I will be sharing with you today 14 points on how to fail-proof your business. However, halfway through, I'm going to do what I promised to do last week. I'm going to share with you the story of my husband and myself and our current business, how it is set up and how we conclude. And then we'll also conclude with the rest of the points. I will then quickly go into a Q&A, and we will be closing after 30 minutes after we have started. So, our topic for this week is how to fail-proof your business. For me, point number 1 is, what meat do you eat? Understand, my friends, you need to identify the problem that you solve. What meat do you need? Who needs what? Most important, you have to identify a problem. There has to be a problem that you solve. There needs to be a need that people have for what you do. People need houses. My family got into property and houses because people need roofs over their heads. Many people need food, water, shelter, and warmth. Those are 4 of the basic needs of humanity, and we supply or provide one of those needs. We provide roofs over our customers' heads. So when we began Van Real Properties or developers, we began with meeting a need. People need shelter. We went into property. We put roofs over people's heads. What problem do you solve, my friends? What need do you meet? Point number 2, what is your marketing message? How do you communicate your solution or your problem with that you solve? How do you communicate the solution? How do you communicate that solution? So the second way to fail-proof your business is your marketing message. How do you communicate your marketing message or your solution? Point 3, so important. What is your differentiator? What is your USP? Your unique selling proposition. You need to differentiate yourself. You need to differentiate yourself from your competitors. If you are an estate agent, we all know they are all around every corner. On every corner there's an estate agent. Why will I sell through you? Why will I use you? Why will I phone you? Why will I buy from you if you sell? Will I just throw a stone into the crowd and the first agent it hits, I choose that agent? No. Why not? Because that agent or agency must differentiate their product, their service. If I want to buy a face product, I can get a face product from anywhere. Why should I buy it from you? How do you differentiate yourself, your product, your service? Point number 4, your logo, your look, your feel. The biggest mistake many business people make is that they start with their logo. My dear friends, business is not built on a logo. Business is built on what problem do you solve, or which problem do you solve. So let's agree with what problem do you solve? Who are you going to communicate your message to? Then let's talk about how are you going to differentiate yourself. And then only we can talk about your logo, your look, your feel, your colors and your name. Too many people start their companies and wonder what they will call their company. What will my logo look like? But they don't think that they have to ask themselves, what problem do I solve? Some businesses are 2-3 years running and still they are not bothered to know, what problem do I solve? Do you know why 9 out of 10 business or startups fail? They fail because they do not know how to fail-proof their business. And this is really a stat, my friends. 9 out of 10 startup fails. Don't do this. Don't start with this. Point number 5, build your brand. What is your brand going to be? Now that we've talked about logo, look and feel, maybe now we can talk about building your brand. Who is your brand? Who are you? Who do you stand for? How do you want people to feel when they look at your brand? What is this, my friends? Not the stand that I'm holding. What is this? This is an apple. Many of us are on a Mac. We have an iPod. We have an iPhone. So what do we think when we see the apple? How does it make us feel when we have our Apple phone in our hands? We feel expensive, top range, reliable, cutting edge, exclusive, front runners, trailblazers. This is how we feel when we have the Apple brand. How do you feel when people see your brand, your look, your logo, your feel? The entire world no longer looks at Apple. And Apple used to be a fruit. Now Apple is a phone. This is branding, my friends. This is branding. Point number 6, product and pricing. What are your products? How will you price them? What are you going to sell? What are you going to sell? Do not have a million products. You are not a general dealer. Have a few products that you have got brilliant knowledge on. You do not need a brand that gives your customers confusion or product confusion. Why? Because a confused mind does not buy. So do not confuse your clients or your customers. What do they think if they think of you? Our clients, when they think of us, they think property. We are property people. So now I quickly would like to share with you that story of our current business. I just quickly want to take a sip of water before we carry on with our current business. So this is our current business story. Let me tell you what we are doing right now. We are property people. We are a property family. Together with my husband Mike and my 4 sons, we all are in the business of property. My husband Mike and I are property developers. And with our sons, we develop and we sell property. What maybe will be interesting for you to hear today is that we only opened our business in 2003. As a hobby, my friends, people think we've been doing this for 20 or 30 years. No, we opened our business in 2003. Our company is only 18 years old. We develop, as I said previously, residential properties, rental properties, affordable housing. We do renovations, we do designs, and currently we are busy building a lodge. We are a property family. Let me share our structure with you. My husband Mike is a wonderful, wonderful man with so many talents. So he will identify pockets of land, negotiate the price, get all the infrastructure in place, the land, the building, the structuring of the units, the EIAs, and he's also a master builder. Dear friends, my husband Mike is our true north, and he is our visionary. I caretake the money. There has to be a gatekeeper in a business and a gatekeeper for the money. I'm involved in the planning, the structure, the finances, the operations. We play ourselves to our own strengths. Then my son Michael, my oldest son Michael, studied law for 5 years. He is amazing in structuring and planning. He is your typical CEO type. He identifies a problem before it arises, and he is also excellent in selling. We love him, and we really see him as our typical CEO. My son Miguel builds, and he builds alongside his dad. He knows building inside out, and he is also a brilliant executor. My son Mijan, who is getting his BSc degree this year in real estate, we are so proud of him, is wonderful with design. As I said, we are currently busy with a lodge. We can't just build an empty shelf and leave it there. This is where Mijan comes in and does the amazing interior design and comes in with a furnishing and then eventually the finishing of this amazing lodge. Our youngest son, Misha, is a wonderful salesperson, and he is also our rainmaker. My friends, I'm sure you know that any business needs sales, designs, project management, money. And together as a family, we have covered all these sections. We turn soil, my friends. By the sweat of our brows we eat. We buy well, we develop well, and we sell at a reasonable price. And many people will ask, but what differentiates the Van Real Property Group with any other property people? We like to stay humble. We are so careful and we really guard ourselves not to get full of pride. People know your brand by who you are, my dear friends. Do you know your brand? Let's then go to point number 7. Who is your target market? Who do you sell your products or your services to? Who is your target market? Decide who your clients is going to be. All businesses begin by meeting a need, solving a problem. However, if nobody knows who you are, there is no business. So how are you communicating the problem you're solving? You need to differentiate yourself from your competitors. And as I said, there is an estate agent on every corner and they all look the same. Why? Do not be and do not look like them. Differentiate yourself from others. What do you look like? Your logo, your look, your feel, your colors. You build your brand about and around who you are. How do you want people to feel? Apple used to be a fruit. Now it's a phone. What product do you sell? Who do you sell it to? And now that you are selling, money is coming in. And that brings us to a very important point. Cash flow. Cash flow, my friends. So who are managing your cash flow, your money in your business? Who is managing your money? Do you spend as fast as your money comes in? Do you overpay yourself? Understand, leader eats last. Rule of business. Leader eats last. Everybody else eats first. We in our company always make sure, especially with month-end salary runs, Luna, salary runs, we pay our people that did the work first. And if there's money left, we pay ourselves. Owner eats last. Cash flow is very important, my friends. And also with that, try and stretch your suppliers to 30 days or 60 days. If you can't negotiate terms with them, try to negotiate discounts with them for early payments. This will really help with your cash flows. Point number 9, and we often forget this, our teams. Who helps you to sell? How do you recruit the right people and build the right team? My sons are going through this right now in building the Real Property Group. The most important thing is get the right team in place. Jim Collins said, put the right people in the right seats on the bus. Every product, every service needs a rainmaker. Who's the rainmaker in your company? I hire slowly. Do not hire fast. Hire slowly. And remember, nothing happens until something sells. Point number 10, deal flows. Do you know that many people do not know what a deal flow is? Do you know what a deal flow is, my friends? The most important thing in business is to pay your salespeople or your agents first. If you want to demotivate your people, your sales people, pay them last. Your business team, your receptionist, your cleaner, your family that helps you build your business, you pay them first. You pay them on time by managing your deal flows. Point number 10, budget forecasts. Why is budget forecast so important? Because budget forecast links us to cash flow in your business. Cash flow and budgets is crucial, my friends. The reason again why 10 out of 9 startups fail is they build overheads before revenue. Keep your overheads low, because if your overheads are low, you will not run out of cash. If you run out of cash, we all know your business will fail. Keep your overheads low. And then on budget forecast, this brings me to point number 12. Drive your revenue. Drive your revenue. Don't drive overheads, drive revenue. Why do you think again 9 out of 10 startup fails? They run out of money, my dear friends. They think revenue builds are having fancy cars, fancy offices, fancy receptions. You have to know where the money is coming from. When the money is coming in, when the money is going out, revenue creation, you need clients and you need deals. Therefore, my friends, manage your budget well. If you need a printer, budget for it. If you know there's certain people in your company that needs to get a bonus, budget for that bonus. Look at the profits. Look at the profits. And remember, the person who runs the money runs the business. Point number 12, that I'm continuing on revenue. Be careful, my dear friends, who looks after your money. Get the right accountant, please. You can't just sit with your accountant or call your accountant once in 3 months. You know, problems arise on a daily basis, and you have to be advised on what you need to do when a problem arises. You need to keep your fingers on the pulse of your business. You need to be hands-on. You need to manage your cash flow and your budgets. Manage your cash flow and your budgets. Startup fails because they know nothing about the cost of their sales. Nobody is talking about even the rent, the salaries, the bonds that maybe needs to be paid. So understand the numbers in your business and the metrics in your business, my dear friends. That is so important. I've left point number 13 for last, and that is business setup and structure. We so often forget how important business setup and structure is, and sometimes it is so often overlooked. Who are the directors? Who are the salespeople? Why is setup so important in your business? People must know the pecking order in your business. Who is the boss? Where does the buck stop? There can't be 5 bosses. Set up a business structure. A business needs a leader. There can't be 10 Indians and no chiefs, or 10 chiefs and no Indians. Who is the boss, and where does the buck stops by? Point number 14. Build revenues. Now, building revenues is actually an entire topic, and I decided that for next week, instead of discussing revenue creation as my point 13 or 14 for this week, I will dedicate an entire module to revenue creation. Chase revenue, my friends. How to unlock revenue in your businesses. So this will be our topic for next week. And I will give you a whole toolkit on how to unlock new revenue streams in your business. If you have any business questions, it's now the time to ask those business questions. And I will ask Mijan to just give me 2 or 3 maybe that comes up. And while we're waiting for them, you know, it's so important to know that we sometimes focus on the fancy things, the seminars, the webinars on how to start up a business, how to do a business. My dear friends, starting a business begins with the basics. Start with the basics in your business. Don't overlook them. Mijan, have we got any business questions?
Charlene now says, makes a lot of sense. Thank you. I think it has to do with, again, with the vision of your business, the structure. There's no questions coming up.
No questions.
Zelda is saying this is platinum wisdom.
Thank you, Zelda.
Paige is asking, how do I influence win-win decisions in a 50-50 partnership?
Who's asking that?
Paige Engel.
Paige.
How do I influence win-win decisions in a 50-50 partnership?
Paige, how well do you know your partner? How long have you been walking a road with your partner? Have you got an agreement in place, a MOI, who exactly states what is the structure of your business? Because if you've got that in place, then you will know how to work the win-win situation in your business. Don't ever let your best friend be your business partner. I hope that answers that for you. Any other questions, Mijan?
Marinal is asking, thank you for the opportunity, Stal. I would like to know, where do you find correct business partners?
Marinal, that is a very interesting question. You know, I've learned over the years that what you ask for, you attract. So I don't know what kind of business you want to invest into or want to go to. But if you keep on looking, you will find the right investors. You will find the right people, like-minded people that will look at the business that you want to start in the same way. Any other question, Mijan?
Carla Adlam is asking, being in maintenance, most clients do not want to pay deposit. How do we deal with those clients? We are not yet self-sustained, we are getting there.
Is it Carla that asked that?
Carla Adlam.
Carla, that is so important. I know that customers do not want to pay a deposit. But you know, when you have got a deposit, you've got cash flow. It is so important to, on your contract, when you do a quote, identify the amount of deposit that you require. My experience is we have learned over the years, if a customer really wants to deal with you, he will give you a 50% deposit. But what you maybe need to do then is, when you propose your deal to your customer, don't give your customer all your good clients. Refer a client to your customer or the customer that you are doing a proposal for. Refer to them a customer that you had a problem with and how you managed the problem. And I promise you, that customer will pay you a 50% deposit. Any other questions, Mijan?
This is actually a good question from Paige. Paige is asking, Estelle, what is your response to a customer that says no?
Paige says no to what? Can you answer me on that? A customer says no. Do they say no on a deal?
That's probably what she's meaning, yeah.
They are allowed to say no on a deal. You know, we are in a very competitive market. But don't lose heart. Don't get discouraged. There are many other customers that are looking for your services. Go back to the nuggets I just gave you. How to fail-proof your business. How are you marketing yourself? How does your brand look? How do people look at you? How do they feel when they see you? Did you try that already?
Paige is saying no to your product. People saying no to your product.
What product do you sell? It's important to know what product you sell. Why will clients say no to the product you sell? Is it a quality product? Is it a meat that you need? Remember, identify. You have to need a meat. So by that, I think our time is up. I want to thank you again for joining me today. It has been wonderful in sharing time with you today. And for those of you who are live here today and will watch afterwards, I really, really, really value your time. I really give God all the glory. I value that you have invested your time to be here with me this morning and to learn from me. I'm looking forward to next week's topic, how to unlock revenue streams. Cannot wait to see you next week. Same place, same time, next week. Blessings. Bye-bye.